History remembers the names of revolutionaries, the orators, the generals, the martyrs who risk everything to overturn an old order. But behind these figures of radical change, another group often operates in the shadows. They are not the ones storming the barricades or signing declarations. They are the quiet opportunists, the shrewd pragmatists who understand that a revolution's greatest product isn't freedom or justice, but power. And power is a commodity to be acquired. This is the story of those who profited from revolutions they did not lead. Throughout history, periods of radical upheaval create a power vacuum. The established structures of control, government, finance, and law are broken. In this chaotic void, new opportunities emerge for those positioned to seize them. While idealists fight for a vision, others see a marketplace of influence, wealth, and status. The stakes are immense. For the revolutionaries, failure means prison or death. For the opportunists, it's a calculated investment. The real question is not who starts the fire, but who controls the reconstruction once the old world has burned it down. The French Revolution provides a powerful case study. While figures like Robespierre and Danton dominated the narrative of radical change, others were making quieter, more strategic moves. Consider Talleyrand, a bishop of the old regime who skillfully navigated every successive government. From the monarchy, through the Reign of Terror, to Napoleon's empire, and back to the restored monarchy. His currency was not ideology but information and influence. He understood that whoever held power needed competent administrators and diplomats. By making himself indispensable, he not only survived but thrived, accumulating immense wealth and shaping European politics for decades. He didn't lead the revolution. He managed its consequences for personal gain. His incentive was not to build a new France, but to secure his own position within whichever France emerged. Another key figure was Napoleon Bonaparte himself. He was a product of the revolution, a brilliant military officer who rose through the ranks. But he was not one of its original architects. His genius was in recognizing that the French people, exhausted by a decade of chaos and bloodshed, craved stability more than liberty. He offered them order, discipline, and national glory. He didn't fight for the revolution's abstract ideals. He used the military power it had unleashed to crown himself emperor. His core decision was to transform the revolutionary fervor into a vehicle for his personal ambition, consolidating power in a way the old monarchy could only dream of. The revolutionary armies, once intended to spread liberty, became his instrument for continental conquest. Often ignored in textbook histories are the economic pressures that create these opportunists. Revolutions are expensive. Armies need to be paid, new governments need funding, and confiscated assets need to be managed. This creates a fertile ground for financiers and suppliers. These individuals, often operating behind the scenes, provide the loans and resources that keep the revolutionary machine running. In return, they gain lucrative contracts, favorable policies, and access to assets seized from the old elite. For them, the revolution is not a political crusade but a massive state-sanctioned business opportunity. Their support is rarely ideological. It is contingent on a return on investment. This economic reality often constrains the choices of revolutionary leaders, forcing them into compromises that benefit their financial backers, sometimes at the expense of their original goals. Psychological biases also play a critical role. During times of extreme uncertainty, people are drawn to figures who project confidence and competence. This is where the opportunists excel. While the idealist is often rigid and uncompromising, the pragmatist is flexible, adapting their message and allegiance as the situation demands. They understand the public's desire for simple solutions and a return to normalcy. This gives them a structural advantage over ideologues who may struggle to manage the messy, practical details of governing. The opportunists' lack of firm conviction becomes their greatest asset, allowing them to pivot where others break. This pattern is not confined to the distant past. We see echoes of it in the modern world. In the turmoil following the collapse of the Soviet Union, former party officials and savvy entrepreneurs who later became the future oligarchs didn't lead the democratic protests. They grabbed huge state-owned industries for a fraction of their worth during the wild shift to capitalism. Their expertise was not in democratic theory, but in navigating the crumbling Soviet bureaucracy. They understood the system's weaknesses and exploited them to build immense personal fortunes. The revolution for democracy became for them the largest leverage buyout in history. The same dynamic appears in business, where a disruptive startup might create a new market, only for a larger established corporation to acquire it and scale it, reaping the majority of the long-term profits. In the end, the story of revolution is twofold. There is the visible narrative of ideology, sacrifice, and the dramatic struggle for a new world. But beneath it lies a hidden history of calculation, opportunism, and the cold logic of power. It reveals that the individuals who ultimately benefit from radical change are often not its most passionate advocates, but its most clear-eyed observers. They understand a fundamental truth, that in the chaos of creation, the most valuable position is not at the vanguard of the revolution, but at the toll booth on the road to the new order. The enduring lesson is that power abhors a vacuum, and those best equipped to fill it are not always those who created it. If you know other examples of people who cashed in on revolutions, drop a comment. If you found this analysis insightful, consider subscribing to History Lens for more explorations into the forces that shape our world. Thank you for watching.